The following is a paid advertisement. The views expressed are the sole responsibility of the advertiser.
Debt can be terrible for families. You feel like you can't put food on the table at the end of the month. Call me now. You have power.
You Have Real Estate is proudly sponsored by Renewal by Andersen, your full-service window and door replacement company. Learn more at rbafla.com.
Welcome to You Have Real Estate, brought to you by Renewal by Andersen. I am your host, Justin Clark. Great show ahead for you today, but first, before we begin, my commitment to you is I don't trust all of these websites out there that tell you what your house is worth, especially now. This market is changing quite a bit. You're thinking about selling your home. The most important thing you need to find out before you go to sell it or before you go to list it is, what is it worth? If I sell it, what am I going to walk away with? All you have to do to find out what your house is worth right now is call the phone number on the screen, 407-205-0400. Great show ahead for you today, but first, the opening statement. Speaking of the real estate market, and I was thinking about this, I was thinking about what I was going to talk to you about today a couple of days ago, and I realized that I'm old. At the end of the day, I've been around this real estate market for a long time now. I've seen the extreme highs and the extreme lows, and I got to thinking, where are we in this market right now? And here's where we are. All right, so we were in a very much a seller's market for a long time. Now I think we are somewhere in the middle, if not even to the buyer's side a little bit, but I think this is a healthy market. We've been up, we've been down, now we're right in the middle, and I don't think we're going to have any extreme ups or downs over the next year or two, really. I actually feel like, yes, the market is softening. I admit that. But I think this market is healthy as well. Where do we go from here? A great question. And we will ask that question by asking real questions. Every week in here on the program, we ask real questions to the trend-setting people in Central Florida's real estate community. Kick it off today from the Villages. One of my favorite places, by the way. I know I'm not quite old enough for the Villages, but I love the Villages. Judy Novella's here. VillagersHomesForRent.com. Judy, welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you. I'm great. Thanks for having me.
So for someone who hasn't been to the Villages yet, and I haven't, let me tell you why I've been so many times. My daughters are horseback riders, and there's a place called Grand Oaks, which is like right outside of the Villages. So oftentimes I'll say, oh, I'm going to go get lunch. And by lunch, it means I'm going to go sit at a bar and order lunch and have a couple of beers to escape the heat of the horse show. It'll be 11:30 in the morning and it's packed already. Mm-hmm. The Villages is a very fun place. How would you describe the Villages?
Well, I mean, the Villages does a great job of describing it themselves, right? It's the active lifestyle, senior community. These are people who are, they're sports people, they're golfers, they're interested in, clubs and card games and, sporting events and live music and entertainment. And the Villages brings all that to the people.
Yeah, I have a lot of clients who come to my office, to the law firm from the Villages, and they all rave about it. I'm telling you, I have not had one person tell me they don't like the Villages. Everyone loves the Villages.
Yeah, and what's not to love?
Yeah, but a lot of people maybe are at retirement age and they want to spend some of the year down here, or they don't know if they want to live in the Villages, or don't know if they want to move to Florida, and they want to rent now. And that becomes a little bit more complicated. You've solved the problem for people who want to rent in the Villages. Tell me about it.
So we have a site. It's called VillagersHomesForRent.com, which is a purely advertising service for owners who have rental properties that they want to manage on their own. So no real estate agents involved. So they're handling their booking affairs, making all the decisions about how they want to rent their property, how they want to price it, what the marketing strategy is for them. The renters come to the site, they shop the site for something that suits them, whether they're looking for, a long-term arrangement, or they want to try before they buy, or they just want to get out of Michigan for the winter. Yeah. Whatever the case is, they can shop on the site, and they have the confidence to know that the person that they're dealing with is the homeowner who owns that property, isn't an expert of that particular unit.
Yeah, you've set it up in a totally different way than, say, property management. I mean, the people who are owners of these houses who want to rent it pay you a very small amount of money for the entire year, and you're not really doing the pure property management either.
Correct. So my owners are doing the things that would otherwise require a licensed real estate agent. So the owners are handling the negotiations of the contract. They're writing up the lease. and they're handling the collection of the rent money. As long as they're handling those affairs, they can supplement in a service like a home watching service, somebody who can come in and check on the property between tenants, make sure that the property's left in good condition, make sure the lawn services are being done. But this is really empowering a do-it-yourself landlord who can manage a property from afar, because most of the times they're doing it through internet and telephone anyway.
Yeah, but the website is obviously great for not just the owner, but for renters as well. And I'm sure some of you have parents who might be wanting to move to the Villages. There are so many different neighborhoods in the Villages. Maybe they don't know which one they want to live in. They want to rent for 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, a month, whatever, before they decide where they want to buy. This is a great website for you to go to as well. It's very easy to use for people who are looking to rent.
Correct. So one of the features of the site is we have a Villages map, which is our customized map that overlays on top of the Google Maps platform. So it has all the features of a Google map, but then we layer over that the individual villages, the town squares, the golf courses, the recreation centers, and we created zones to help a renter who's not familiar be able to sort of isolate an area where they think they might be interested in and be able to, see what's in that area, what town square is closest to the various villages, and they can correlate that to the way our search engine works. So I kind of broke it out as, the Lake Sumter area, the Spanish Springs area, Brownwood. I mean, pretty basic.
Yeah.
And we have dividing lines. So anything that falls between the certain routes falls into a certain category, they can search that way. And so they can get familiar with the villages from that perspective and then isolate homes that might fit their, particular positioning based on how they do that search. So we do provide that.
I'm ready to go to the village. I'm only 45. How old do I have to be?
Well, I think it's, the community says it's a 55 plus. There's a certain percentage of new buyers that have to be over that threshold, but there's some wiggle room in there.
So
you'd be all right. Buy a retirement home now.
Let's say that your wife's a little younger than you. Can I grandfather her in, so to speak? Can she follow me?
As long as somebody's older than 55, you're good. But you can visit. So, and a lot of people do buy their retirement home and they rent them out until they're ready to come and live there. Yeah. So that's so many of our clients.
I love it. You're changing the game, Judy, of how rentals are done in the Villages. Thank you for that. I think the community really needed what you're doing as well.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. Got it. If you're looking to rent your home in the Villages, or you're looking to rent a home in the Villages, maybe your parents want to come down and spend some of the year here with you, it's villagershomesforrent.com. Highly recommend them. It's a great website, too. You're going to like it. Here's what we would do, a very quick break. You have Real Estate Continues. When it comes to windows and doors, there is one place to turn. It's obvious to me. Joined by Dan Brigman, Renewal by Anderson. You guys do such a wonderful job. I love being able to spread your great word out there, because you do such a great job for everyone that watches this show. But you're doing something even better for the people at home right now. You got to tell me.
Yeah, it's a big deal. And so what we're doing is, look, it's summertime. Everybody's on vacation, and we said, you know what? Let's put all the cards on the table. And so what we're doing is we're doing a buy two, get 60% off. Here's the caveat, though. It ends on 5/31. So we said, you know what? Anybody who watches this show, guess what? We're going to extend it all the way to the end of July.
Okay, through July. And it is hot. And what people don't understand is the windows are the key to making your electricity bill lower. How does that work?
Yeah, absolutely. So windows are, the way that this works is windows are engineered to have double pane windows, right? And so double pane glass alone doesn't do the job. What does the job is what's inside and what's coated on the glass. So you put argon in the middle, and you put low E tinting on the outside. There's a lot of engineering that goes in behind that. There's low grades of both of those, and so you make sure that you engineer that window right. And what happens is that low E technology reflects the white light. That's what lets the heat in. The argon is the inert gas that keeps the heat from coming from one side to the other.
The best windows in the business, and very affordable payment plans to where it's almost making this payment free with the money you're saving on your electricity bill. Check out Renewal by Anderson today.
Can you believe we're actually planning a wedding?
Feels like you were planning a wedding, honestly.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's wild. Guest list, flowers, cake tastings, which I've enjoyed that part. And now we're even thinking about AC units.
I mean, it makes sense. A new season of life, new air conditioner, and Duquesne's got that new refrigerant, more efficient and more eco-friendly.
Exactly. If we're building a future together, you and I, we want it to be comfortable, I would say, and cool, literally.
Literally. With Duquesne, it's more than just reliable products. It's like a good marriage, built on trust, support, and knowing what's best for your home.
Planning a wedding might be stressful for her, but planning your AC upgrade, that's super easy.
If you're thinking about your future, whether it's wedding bells or just wanting your home to feel better, it's the perfect time to fall in love.
With your air conditioner unit all over
again. Thanks, Duquesne. We're keeping cool with love.
Welcome back to the show. When you're involved in real estate, at the end of the day, we all want to get the deal done for you. Whether you're the buyer, seller, whether this is residential, commercial, it's really about getting that deal done so you can either get paid if you're the seller or get involved in that investment or your house if you're the buyer. Oftentimes I'm asked, Justin, it really doesn't matter who my real estate agent is because they all have a license. They can all get on MLS, and that's all that really matters. I beg to differ. I disagree. A little story about how it works here. Rose Kemp joins me. Hi, Rose. How are you? Good to see you. Good. Immediate past president of Aura. Is that your title now, I guess?
Yes. Actually, I have my identity back. I am Rose Kemp, Realtor Rose Town Center. Thank you very much.
/ extraordinaire, of course.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Dallas Lame, the owner of You Have Mortgage, joins me as well. Hello, Dallas.
Great to be back. Thank you, Justin.
And it's true, though, if you think about it. I mean, it takes a village in real estate, but the people that you know and the people you have around you, Rose, can be the difference in the deal going through or not.
Absolutely. So as a realtor, we want to make sure we have the right resources around us because it takes a team to get to that closing, as you know. And so it's great because I just had a very important special deal with good friends of mine that were relocating back into Orlando, and they needed a jumbo loan. And so the great news is I have the best resource right here, Dallas Lehman, and he did an incredible job. And that is so, so important because there's so many stresses and so many different things that come up when somebody's purchasing a property, from the move to all sorts of things. And so it's nice when you know that you have somebody that's going to help make the transaction as smooth as possible.
You work hard for anyone who calls you. You can call Dallas off the street. He's going to work hard for you. But there's got to be a little extra incentive when the realtor is your friend and then her client is her friend.
Exactly. And to make things a little bit better, and thank you, Rose, for the kind words. I truly enjoy working with you all the time. This was not just a regular loan. This was a jumbo loan. And jumbo loans, they sort of require a little loving care because they exceed all the parameters of conforming lending. So the nice thing is this particular friend and client of Rose's, she was coming from out of town. So there were a few moving pieces: selling a home, buying a home. Didn't know anybody here. Rose, she knew Rose, and that's the most important thing. But you also need to pull some components together: insurance, things of that nature, third parties that might be helpful. So in order to get those moving pieces all aligned, it's great to work with a teammate you know well.
A couple questions. What is a jumbo loan, and how are we looking rate-wise right now?
Jumbo loans are the true definition is anything outside of a conforming loan. The limits vary. Right now, the 2025 limit is $806,500, but that varies by high-cost geographic region. California, I believe it's $1,205,000, but that number can change. Rates right now, if you were to look at that and I'm going to say on a very average Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac rate, that rate right now is anywhere from 6.875 to maybe 7 1/8. The rates really haven't changed that much, and I've been on the show a few times talking about that. I don't expect them to change too much, but we are in very, very good rate territory right now in normal rates over the history of rates.
I totally agree, and you can buy down your rate too. I'm seeing people buy down that rate all the time, and I don't think it's a reason to stay out of this market as a buyer just because the rates are a little bit higher than you would like or higher than they were 3 years ago, because they're still good, relatively speaking, and you can buy them down as well. What are you seeing in the market right now, real estate-wise, Rose?
So we have more inventory on the market. We're actually about 36% above what we were last year at this time of the year. With that being said, when you look at the median home price, we're actually 1% higher than we were last year at $390,000 in this area. So it's quite interesting. I think the best part about this market right now is that there are a lot of opportunities. At one point we had no options. Now it's really nice to see people finally making moves. Sellers have a place to move to. And also, we still have a really great market here in Orlando. As you know, we still have lots of people moving in. So lots of transactions still happening. And so we are in a stable market, and it feels good, actually. And if you are a buyer, man, what a great time to negotiate and find your dream home.
Prices have stayed about the same. The amount of options on the market for you as a buyer have gone up. I think this is a sign of a healthy market, okay? If people are saying this market's going downturn all the way, it's a healthier market, honestly, if you look at both sides of it. 2 properties that you have right now.
Yes.
Let's start in Kissimmee, Rose, quickly.
Yes.
What is this? I can't read my handwriting. Secret Key Cove?
Yes. So it's 8404 Secret Key Cove, and that is in Kissimmee, over by the Disney World area. And it's in a community called Emerald Island Resort. So you hear the word resort. It is gated community, and it has a lot of amenities that it offers. This is actually a short-term rental area. So it's great for vacation homes, Airbnb homes. The price is $579,500. It is a single-family home with 7 bedrooms, 4.5 baths, and it's 2,832 heated square feet. Comes fully furnished, and it does have double primary. So it has a primary on the first floor and then a primary on the second floor.
A good size. Now north to Orlando, Conroy Road, Rose.
Yeah, so another great area, actually. It's 3561 Conroy Road, and it is a condominium on the first floor unit, which many people look for first floor units. It's also a 1 bedroom, 1 bath. So you are kind of in that entry level price for a great community. The community is called Mosaic and Millennia, and the price is $185,000. I've got a great motivated seller that's ready to move on from this property. They have relocated to South Florida. So this community also offers a lot of amenities. It is gated. And again, first floor condo, and it does back up to a courtyard. So it has a screened in patio in the back. And so you're able to have a little nice area for yourself.
Motivated seller. You know what that means. Good for you as the buyer. Rose Kemp, welcome back to being a realtor again.
Thank you.
Dallas Lehman. If you'd like to see those properties, by the way, 407-205-0400. Rose would happily show them to you today if you want, or anytime next week. Dallas Lehman will help you get pre-approved, because you got to get pre-approved. No one's going to show you a house until you get that pre-approval. Isn't that right?
Absolutely, Justin.
Excellent.
That's key.
Excellent job. Here's what we will do, a very quick break. When we return, You Have Real Estate continues.
Introducing to you today my trusted source when it comes to all things estate planning and probate. It is Marshall Law. The man behind it all is John Marshall. How are you, buddy? Good to see you.
Doing well.
How important is estate planning in someone's adult life?
Estate planning is necessary for us all. I think people have an idea that estate planning is for the wealthy. No, estate planning encompasses much more than just assets. It's who's going to make decisions for us if we become incapacitated. Who's going to be able to pay our bills if we reach a point where, we can't cut those checks or, handle those finances because of an incapacity issue. And it's sad, but, it's likely going to happen to us. We're living longer, and as a result, the odds of you dying without having an incapacity issue are on the, going down. So you're likely to have a period of incapacity before then. We need the proper documents in place.
We do estate planning to avoid probate, but you do help people through probate when they have to. What is probate?
Probate is the process of transferring assets out of someone's name after they have passed away. And we would like to avoid probate because it's a court case and it takes a long period of time and can be costly.
Yeah. You're a great man, a great attorney. I look forward to getting to know you better. And I think that you should always call Marshall Law about any sort of estate planning or probate questions. Do that today.
We've seen such a migration of people who move from other parts of the country to Florida, but also within Florida, we've seen a migration from people going from South Florida to Central Florida. Have you ever thought about continuing that migration to Northern Florida? I know one person that did. It's Elisha Lopez, Ocala Realty World. it is a migration we're seeing. You live in Ocala, obviously. You have a huge brokerage in Ocala Realty World, but you've seen a lot of people moving there as well. What do people tell you? People that come from Miami like you, or even from Orlando, a lot of people going from Orlando to the Ocala area, what do they tell you when they move there?
It's really pretty much the same across the board. Everybody says that they come for a slower pace, a slower way of life, more affordable and all those things. But then once they're in Ocala, and especially for a little bit of time, they're like, it's just so beautiful and it's so peaceful. And everybody passes through and they stop at the Cracker Barrel off of I-75 and 200. And they're like, what is this place? It just has a charm that I have never felt anywhere else.
If you could only choose one, Cracker Barrel or Waffle House, what do you do? What do you choose?
Cracker Barrel.
Cracker Barrel?
Yeah, definitely.
I tell you, those little fry things, I don't know, at Waffle House are pretty good. What do they call them? Someone help me. The hash browns.
Oh, yeah.
And I put ketchup on them too. I don't care. Is that normal?
Yeah, no, it's for a lot of people.
So Ocala, you talk about living there, slower pace of life, but also less expensive to live in Ocala as well. Buying a house, less expensive.
Yeah, month after month for a couple of years already, it's been between 43 and 46% less to live in Ocala and Marion County than it is to be in Orange County, Seminole, like the whole Central Florida area.
And also investing, though, because the price of houses and real estate is so much less expensive in the Ocala, Marion County area. Investing there can be a really great place to start investing as well.
Oh, yeah. And it is a great place. Obviously, the price point to get in on those investments is going to be a lot lower. But because there are not as many as there used to be, you really need to work with an experienced listing agent that has, all those little secrets that they're in the middle of something so they can maybe buy it themselves. Because if an agent or a broker's not purchasing properties to invest in on their own, then that's a problem. But if, you can't always buy everything. And so an investor really wants to hook up with that type of broker or agent so they can have first dibs on the good deals.
Absolutely. If you've ever thought about investing in real estate in Marion County or anywhere in northern Florida, or you've thought about moving your family there and you want to buy real estate there, there's a QR code on the screen right now for Ocala Realty World. Elisha Lopez will send you listings as they come live. I think it's a beautiful place to live, number one. But also, if you're looking to get into investment real estate, a lot of times you can buy 2 or 3 houses to start your investment career, whereas maybe you could only buy 1 here. When people are looking to invest, you can still get a mortgage for investment real estate, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
How does that normally work? How much do I have to put down to get started?
Well, the typical is going to be 20%, but there's a lot of, I've been seeing 30% actually. I've had one investor where they have 3 properties that they were buying all together, and each one they were putting 30% down. So they really got 3 for 1. Instead of paying cash for 1 only, they got 3.
And it's not just Ocala, it's not just Marion County, my favorite county to the west there, of course, but there Gainesville too. I mean, there's a lot of counties in that northern Florida area that are great places to live or invest. What are some of your favorites?
Well, definitely Levy County, because it's in the middle of Alachua and Marion County. So you got Gainesville and Ocala, and it's right in the middle. And that's just common, like, migration, that anytime you have 2 bigger areas, whatever's in the middle is going to be kind of the next thing because it's right in the middle. So it's going to be the next affordable spot.
Absolutely. You're such a sweet lady. It's been such a pleasure getting to know you the last couple of years. But you do care as well. You care about your clients. How does that change things when you have such a deep care for your clients as opposed to just whatever?
Well, you could always tell when somebody's doing something to actually help you, or if we call commission breath.
Right.
It's all personal, just
I haven't
about
heard
them.
that one yet. Commission breath? I got to write that one down.
But it's so true. It's just like, that's like the used car salesman, like that kind of a thing. But I mean, it happens in any kind of sales. And when your motive is just about yourself, and it might be justifiable that, you have bills to pay, you're going through whatever it is, but everybody does. And when it's always about your client or your customer, I mean, that's, you're going to get rewarded in the end anyway. Absolutely. And that's how you actually have a good business.
Elisha Lopez, Ocala Realty World, thank you so much. QR code is on the screen for her right now. Thank you to all of our amazing guests today, to our awesome crew as always. The show where you never, ever will smell commission breaths.
Never.
Most importantly, thank you. See you again next week for more You Have Real Estate.
The proceeding was a paid advertisement. The views expressed were the sole responsibility of the advertiser.